Hello. Today, Team Yellow will be presenting the Mad Men analysts for episodes 4 and 9 from season 1, episodes 1, 6, and 11 from season 2. This presentation will be done by Brian Taylor, Ronald Fincher, and myself, Angela Aguilera.
In this episode, we actually focus on communications, internal communications, and how it affects the external relationships. Pete unexpectedly tries to take over a meeting with Bethlehem Steel, bringing up strategies that the team had not even discussed yet. As a matter of fact, later on that evening, he talks to Bethlehem Steel about a slogan that he came up with on his own about the background of America. And this was a selfish act that actually got him fired. When advertising companies look for traits in somebody they're going to hire, they look for talent, knowledge, and the ability to work with others, with the third being the most important of the three. When Pete did what he did, he betrayed his team and decided to work outside the structure. And as a result, he had to suffer the consequences for that.
In 109, advertising agency size and types of agencies come up. Specifically, when Jim tries to hire Don away from his mom and pop agency, which has obvious limitations. Jim compares Don's agency to the farm leagues of baseball, while his agency is Yankee Stadium. One statement that stands out is when Don finally takes offense to all of Jim's degrading comments about the small size of Sterling Cooper, and Don just says small is bad. In Kyle's video lecture 9, he says that smaller agencies offer smaller collaborative teams that can work more easily together, and this can be a good thing.
In episode 1, season 2, Don Draper was having a conversation with Peggy about the Mohawk airline advertisement. Peggy believes in the illustration that the attention should go towards the woman in the skirt, while Don Draper is focusing in on the little girl in the advertisement. He then brings out artwork that his daughter had made for him, and it has sentiment. So he looks to Peggy and says, just because it has sentiment doesn't make it sentimental. He then goes on to say, you are the product, you feeling something, that's what sells. This ties into interpersonal influences, the decision making that people go through, which are the three internal human operations: perception, learning, and motivation. It's the way consumers disconcern raw data and translating those into feelings, thoughts, beliefs, and actions, which ties into um, influencing what will be purchased for that individual consumer.
It's interesting that the average adult gets exposed to thousands of ads each day, but really only notices only a handful of them. And those are the most compelling ones. The Playtex campaign, Sterling Cooper's concept was that all women have a fantasy. Every woman wants to be either like Jackie Kennedy or Marilyn Monroe. Two sides of a woman, they said. Jackie by day, Marilyn by night. There are psychological processes in customer behavior that motivate advertising managers preparing to launch a new campaign. First, create awareness that the product exists, followed by creating enough compelling information about the product for potential customers to become interested. Most importantly, the advertising needs to stimulate potential customers' desire to try the product. And we all have that inside of us.
In episode 11, season 2, Pete presents to clients a presentation about MIRVs, which is a missile payload containing several warheads, each capable of being aimed to hit a different target. Don is witnessing another carousel presentation in the works. You can tell this by his facial reaction to the product being introduced. And he understands the potential impact it could have on humankind. Pete's presentation was very believable, and very well put together. He followed the 5 key components for maximum selling power, which are strategic precision, savvy psychology, polished presentation, structural persuasion, and lastly, he solved the problem for his clients. In summary, as advertising students, we have learned a few key points from watching Mad Men Season 1 and 2. First, we understand that having optimal internal teamwork is essential to having a functional ad agency. In teamwork, there is a lot of components: communication, meetings, open mindedness, and the willing to go back and forth on ideas and accept criticism is essential. Secondly, internal relationships directly influence external relationships with clients. So, if employees at an ad agency are on the same page with the same ideas, going forth with the same pitch, clients will not be able to refute or barter anything less than. They can observe that everyone is on the same page and that belief and pitch is strong. Lastly, working at an ad agency does demand more time and effort than a typical other form of career. Um, in the episodes, we've noticed Don Draper is constantly rummaging with ideas, plans, and thoughts on his next move. And with this, we would like to conclude, and we thank you for watching our PowerPoint.